And that we faced them at that stadium, a game that ended 3-1 in favor for the Catalan side. Yes, those were very different times, and yes, a lot has changed since then, but will Xavi's men be able to repeat that success? We're about 45 minutes away from finding out, so let's get started.
It's not Champions League, but it's European competition, and it's special because if we can win this competition, we go directly qualified to Champions League. So it's an opportunity for us. We are really motivated, and we want to show our real level. But we need to take care with this team because it's a good team. It's a Champions League team level.
Well, welcome again to the show. It is a beautiful day here in Barcelona city. The temperature got nearly to 20 degrees Celsius, so it's a beautiful day for a European clash where Barça, as I mentioned, host Napoli over in the Camp Nou. A clash that has got, well, let's call it Champions League-like ingredients. And joining me here in the studio on my right, we have Robert von Eckhout, Pau Casasa, and Bruno Ballester. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
How are you all doing?
Hello.
Fine. I feel a tad bit overdressed, actually, looking at you. I feel like I'm ready to go out, but I should have brought my...
We're here to support the team.
Support the team.
Wearing the corporate...
That's right.
The corporate clothes. Anyway, excited, of course. The race for a new title starts today at the Camp Nou. It's weird to see Barca at the Camp Nou these days, isn't it? I mean, just second game of the year, 2022.
That's crazy.
At the stadium. It's absolutely crazy. But we saw right now, the atmosphere at the stadium is great. Hopefully, there'll be a full house supporting the team.
I mean, I imagine the atmosphere is going to be pumping. There's reportedly a lot of Napoli supporters that have traveled with the team as well, so we expect a full Camp Nou. Pau, what are your thoughts ahead of this game?
Well, I think it's a tricky game, but because we all think that it might be a kind of an easy game because it's a different competition, not the one we were expecting. But at the end, we're facing one of the best teams at the Italian league, which is a tough league, and so it's going to be a very, very complicated game that it's going to actually tell us where we are at this point.
That's right, Bruno. I'm just echoing what Pau mentioned there. A win would, of course, put us one step closer to the round of 16, but first we have to beat a very informed Napoli.
Yes, I mean, it's going to be a bit strange, of course, because the timetable, because of this orange color around the Camp Nou instead of the blue of the Champions League. But in the end, once the ball will start rolling, I'm sure that everyone will be really focused on the game. It's Barca Napoli, and actually, the competition is the Europa League, but it seems like a Champions League clash today at the Camp Nou.
Robert, who are going to be our 11 warriors today to face Spalletti's men?
Let's take a look at the lineup for Football Club Barcelona today. We will be starting with Marc-Andre ter Stegen in goal, a defensive line of 4 with some changes compared to the game on Sunday. We will be starting Oscar Mingueza at the right back position with Eric Garcia, Gerard Piqué and Jordi Alba. Changes in midfield as well, with Nico starting in the holding midfielder position, accompanied by Pedri and Frenkie de Jong. And up front, there is a first start for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as a Blaugrana, with Adama on the right flank and Ferran Torres coming in from the left. So, guys, I want to ask you for your thoughts. Shall we start with Pau, our guest? Pau, maybe the question is Nico going to play that role as a holding midfielder, or could it be Frenkie de Jong?
Yeah, we have plenty of questions starting for this one. I think Nico might be the one, although it hasn't been a decision from Xavi at any point. But we haven't seen Frenkie de Jong at that position either, I believe.
Busquets has played most of the minutes under Xavi in that holding midfielder position.
Exactly, it's the first time without Busquets, so I honestly, I'm very doubtful about what the formation is going to look like, because the possibilities are plenty. We know that we are coming from a game where we struggled a little bit in terms of defending, recovering the ball at the backward space, and Napoli is very dangerous on that. So let's see if maybe we play with two midfields. I don't know.
And Aubameyang getting his start now in the Europa League. Luc de Jong, of course, is the top goal scorer since Xavi has taken over. Is that a bit of a surprise, maybe?
With Aubameyang starting? I mean, he has been very clear on what he wants up front. He wants people that can run into space, that can generate options. It's the first time that he doesn't keep an inside player up front, like it was with Gavi, which probably showed the intention of Xavi of accumulating players inside and having people closer. But in this case, I think it's very clear what he wants, to make Napoli feel uncomfortable, not only with the ball, but also into space, which is something that they also do.
Probably, in terms of the question about Nico and Frankie, the easiest thing is to think that Nico is going to play in this role of Busquets, because you will change less things from the last games as Barca has been preparing the matches. But of course, we will have to confirm it. And by the way, the big surprise, the main surprise, I think, is to see Sergio Busquets starting in the bench. Yeah. It's the first time since 24th February 2021 that Busquets starts as a substitute. Of course, always that he has been available to play, no suspended or no injured. So, 49 games, and in 48 has played as a starter in the last 49 games. So this is the big surprise. And actually, well, it was a 3-0 win against Elche. So this is a big surprise. 1 year later, Busquets starts a game in the bench.
I did think yesterday Xavi gave us some hints that he might make some substitutions. He said it's a very heavy schedule. There are lots of games, and we need to share the minutes amongst all the players. I'm very surprised, as Bruno said, that Sergio Busquets is not starting, just because we're very used to seeing him in the starting lineup. But another surprise is that the fact that Oscar Mingueza is starting at right back instead of Serginho Dest. Of course, Dani Alves is absent because he was not registered for this competition. But Xavi maybe wanting a bit more of a defensive body there to take care of Lorenzo Insigne. And of course, Xavi's liking what he's seeing from Adama, and he can do all the attacking that right flank.
Well, why don't we have a listen of our head coach, Xavi Hernandez, ahead of this game against Napoli.
Ja ens atenia la prèvia dels partits de Lliga de Campions i també ho fa la prèvia d'aquest partit d'Europa League l'entrenador del Barça, Xavi Hernández. Xavi, què tal? Bona tarda.
Bona tarda.
Ho dèiem a la introducció del programa, una tarda diferent, no per l'horari.
It's a different kind of afternoon for you.
Però tu deies ahir, teniu davant el Nàpols, és un partit de nivell...
But you know that Napoli's going to be a really tough game.
Pel rival, sí, per l'atmosfera, crec que hi haurà...
Yes, because of the opposition, the atmosphere.
Sembla un partit de Lliga, no?, a aquesta hora. Però bé, estem motivats.
We're more used to playing league games at this kind of time. But we're really motivated for the game.
Jugant el partit de tornada fora de casa.
We're playing the away leg away from home.
L'esperança que tenim també per anar directes a la
And there's a lot of expectation that we had. We had a lot of hopes of going through in the Champions League, but it wasn't to be that this is another competition. It's going to be a tough tie. And we'll try to be ourselves. We'll try and dominate the game. We'll try and show our personality and be competitive in this game. You've made 4 changes to the derby of the weekend. It's always a good opportunity for the players who come in to get minutes. It's a really important game in Europe. We've got a lot of players who've got a lot of minutes. And we've got a lot of games coming up in very few days. I want to ask you about Aubameyang, who's making his first start today. He's developing well. We said that he needed some time to train. He's physically strong, he's good in space. He links up well with his teammates as well.
We'll do the last question in English. Xavi, what kind of game do you expect against this Napoli?
Well, difficult game, very difficult game here at home and away. So we are talking about Champions League level team. So it will be really tough to win. But okay, we are ready. We are really excited to compete in Europa League also. So we are ready.
Gracias, Xavi.
Gracias.
Les paraules de Xavi.
The words there of head coach Xavi Hernandez, expecting a difficult game and a Napoli side that will probably dispute possession against this team as well. Robert, what is the starting 11 as Spalletti will come out with?
Let's take a look at Napoli's starting lineup. Xavi calls them a Champions League team. This is their starting 11. In goal, Meret, the keeper who started most of their games in the Europa League, as opposed to Ospina. Defensive line of 4 with Di Lorenzo, Brahmani, Koulibaly and Juan Jesus. 2 holding midfielders in Anguissa and Fabian Ruiz, who's more of a creator. On the right, Elmas. On the left, Insigne. The attacking midfielder will be Zielinski. And up front, their top scorer this season, Osimhen. Paul. A tough side, and a side that's been doing well in the Serie A, in the Calcio. They're fighting for that first position. So Xavi calls them a Champions League team. What are the main threats there, do you think?
Well, starting from the last name that you mentioned, Osimhen, obviously is a forward player that is very dangerous. He feels very comfortable stepping into the box, being capable of scoring from crosses and also running into space, which is something that we saw that against Espanyol was one of the main reasons why we conceded goals. So for sure it's going to be very demanding in terms for Eric and Piqué to be coordinated on managing that space, and also Ter Stegen to be a player that can be close to the team and try to arrive to those balls. And obviously we know Fabian Ruiz very, very well. The Spaniard, he's a bowler. He likes to have the ball together with Insigne, a player that even though he plays on the left flank, he likes to receive inside and have the possession. So it's a team that is going to be threatening us both in terms of having possession, that we know that Barca suffers if the opponents have the ball, but also into space and those dribbling.
Sorry, Bruno. I mean, this is Spalletti's first season in charge, of course, since taking over at Napoli. But it's really a side that hasn't changed their style that much over the years, have they?
Well, honestly, I haven't followed them much, but yeah, for what I've seen, they are consistent on what they want to do, and so they stick to that idea, and at the end that's an advantage because the players know, they all know what they want to play at, and that gives them a better coordination on the field.
They're probably one of the less Italian teams of the Italian league.
Kind of, yeah.
About Napoli, I mean, there was the doubt of Osimhen because he wasn't part of the training session yesterday for Napoli, but in the end he starts, and of course is one of the main weapons of this Napoli. He has scored 4 goals in 168 minutes in the Europa League for Napoli, so this of course are really good stats. And then in the left, because he's not playing Mario Rui, who everyone was expecting him to be a starter, and he's playing Jesus. So well, this is probably the biggest surprise for Napoli, that they decided to rest Mario Rui.
And they do have 3 absences, 3 important absences for them, Politano, Lozano and Lobotka. But if we talk about absences, Barca are winning there with that long list of injuries that we still have.
Robert, the list is unfortunately still too long for Barca. We got Ronald Araujo, Clement Lenglet, Samuel Umtiti, Alejandro Balde, Dani Alves, of course, who's not registered for this tournament, out as well as Sergi Roberto, Ansu Fati, and Memphis, who is still on that injury list as well. I mean, still a very long list.
Yes, another big name for Napoli, Mertens, the history's top scorer. He starts in the bench. As usual this season, he's normally starting from the bench. And then also, of course, there's a familiar face there in Napoli. That is Anguissa, former Villarreal player, a player that knows what it means to face Barca. And well, it's a kind of a defensive midfielder, strong, powerful, and well, probably will be one of the keys for Napoli to try to control that midfielder with Anguissa.
And another of the big names for this Napoli side is Koulibaly, leading their defense. He's the spirit of the team, the leader of the team, and a very strong defender who's receiving lots of praise for his performances in the last few seasons.
And of course, Lorenzo Insigne. He starts, of course, in the left, and it will be a big challenge for Mingueza today to mark him and to defend him, because, of course, he's a really dangerous player, and with his classical move to run in the left and then orientate the ball in the right and try and find a shot. So yeah, it will be a tough challenge there for Oscar Mingueza.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe what Xavi wants with Mingueza is to follow this player inside. Mingueza likes to push a lot the opponents, to anticipate, so maybe he's going to ask him to follow him to those inside spaces.
Yeah, that's probably why he picked Mingueza and not Dest as a more defensive profile.
Probably, yeah.
It's going to be a tough task indeed for Xavi's men. Xavi, who Luciano Spalletti knows very well indeed. Of course, the Italian coach knows the game very well, and he had this to say about the Barca head coach.
Ma noi cercheremo di fare la nostra partita, non useremo una tattica particolare. Xavi è uno di quei calciatori, è stato uno di quei calciatori, ora lo farà sicuramente da allenatore, di quelli che conoscevano benissimo il calcio, che sicuramente saprà infondere alla sua squadra e avrà già dato molto di quella che era la sua conoscenza e la sua qualità quando era calciatore. per cui io la vedo a un buon livello la nostra avversaria e sicuramente Xavi poi riuscirà a portarla dove lui pensa.
Well, according to Spalletti, sky is the limit for Xavi's team. We certainly hope that, of course, over here at Barça Studios. Pau, what have you noticed, the big changes, I guess, since Xavi has taken over this team?
Well, probably the main change is how much he sticks into an idea. He has always said that it's not only about winning, but also about how we play. And he stays firm on that, and the players that he picks really promote this. He's a very adaptable coach without losing the identity. At the end, he has introduced Adama to the squad, to the starting 11. Changes on the interactions between players, Dani Alves occupying the spaces in between, and Adama staying on the outside all the time. So he's a smart coach that makes decisions, but always sticking or doing it under the umbrella of the Barca DNA.
Spalletti, of course, Robert, highlighting as well the communication abilities, right? How important it is for a coach that used to be a player to be able to communicate to his players his ideas and tactics.
Yes, and we were just seeing there moment in which Xavi was putting that into practice. The game on Sunday against Espanyol. Xavi acting in a very proactive way and not scared of changing the tactics, of changing how the team is distributed around the field. If the team are down, he goes with a more aggressive approach. He put two wingers out there. He tried to put more crosses inside the box, and that's how the equaliser came with Luke de Jong scoring. So Xavi not afraid to change things around in the middle of the game.
Yeah, and in the end, we'll have to forget that Xavi has started his adventure at the middle of a season. That's something that a manager never wants, because you are in the middle with some players, of course, that are not your requests. Now it's true that he has enjoyed this winter transfer market with some of the players, of course, that he wanted. But I think that the main challenges for Xavi, of course, will start in summer, building the new project since the beginning. But it's true that this is Barca, and you have no time to stop, to rest. You have to win all the games. And now the challenge, of course, is this Europa League.
It must have been important as well for Xavi, of course, to take advantage of this winter transfer market, not just to bring players in, but players that are familiar with the Barca system as well. Hence the return of one of the Masia players in Adama Traoré.
Yeah, and you can really see that on this player. We were all expecting somebody that would be really good at 1v1, which he is, and he has been showing it. But at the end, he also decides very well, and that's one of the things that Xavi said after one of the first games he played, that he decided very well when to dribble, when to pass, which is also important. That's why we probably saw that the interactions between him and Pedri were very effective. That game, I believe it was it against Levante?
I'm not sure. Can't remember which one it was. But anyway, Xavi saying yesterday that it's not been an easy ride. We celebrated his first 100 days as a head coach this week. He said it felt like 100 years.
He still with the good hair. He still in form with the good hair. I mean, exactly. Yeah, because sometimes with lots of years in Barca, then you see the face of a manager when he started and when he left. But Xavi seems to be in form, at least right now.
I have similar experience and have some kids, and you will soon have gray hair. These canas don't lie. It is game day at the Camp Nou, which is of course always a special, and in particular on these European nights, and that is why my Rostro paid a visit to that very special place called Barça Café. Let's take a listen. Look.
Well, guys, today we're going to do it differently because we're here at Barça Café. We're going to show you later where is exactly this Barça Café, but it's amazing because as you can see, it's all related to Barça. You have the t-shirt from that magical night of Koeman and the first Champions League, Messi, Iniesta, Xavi. All of the tables are special. They have messages. We have everything is related to Barca. Even the menu, if we take a look in the menu, you have even the name of the players for all the plates or the drinks or whatever you want to do today. Now we're going to have the chance to go to the kitchen because they're going to show you, well, something special for us. Follow me, Jordi. As you can see, we can see the numbers. Well, let's go por aquí. And this way, this is the Barça kitchen, we can say it, of Barça Café. Today, obviously, is a game day, so it's all pretty different, it's all organized. And take a look on this. We have a hamburger with, well, a burger with the Barça badge.
We had the promotion this on the service with the potatoes and everything. It's also a combo. And all time this is going with the arugula, with cheese and burger. Enjoy your meals.
This is a special day because it's a game day. They were explaining to us that actually during the game days, when they do this with the badge, it's just for a special occasion because they have a machine that do this like for 10 seconds. They do this with the beverage, with the coffees, with all the drinks they have outside. And with the burger, you can come here and eat a Barca burger.
And that's for you all time. Enjoy it.
Thank you so much. You see, guys, before the game.
Well, thank you for that excellent report, Mai. And we hope, of course, that our players are well fed as well ahead of this game. They're going to need the energy. And hopefully this particular player, our midfielder, Pedri, has had plenty of that Barca burger. Let's hope so. And let's take a listen to what he had to say before the match.
Sí, es verdad que somos conscientes que nos gustaría estar en la Champions, pero ahora toca jugar la Europa League, la afrontamos con la mayor ilusión posible para intentar pues disputarle el partido al Nápoles y ganarlo y pasar de eliminatoria y llegar a la final y ganarlo. Yo creo que es lo mejor que nos puede venir, creo que es un rival, como ya tú dices, de Champions, creo que tienen un magnífico equipo y una plantilla muy buena y la verdad que sí, que creo que va a ser un partido muy bonito y animo a la gente que venga y espero pues llevarnos la victoria. Creo que cada partido que jugamos pues vamos mejorando, es verdad que tenemos que mejorar muchas cosas para seguir ganando pues habitualmente de 3 en 3 en la liga y bueno, creo que nos viene bien pues todos los partidos que vengan para seguir ajustando las cosas.
Well, Xavi's certainly happy to be able to count on that midfielder with so much quality. He's been out for such a long time of the season, and he really finds a team that has changed quite a bit since he was last playing with him.
Indeed, and I think he's changed the way that this team is playing because he's only a youngster, but he plays like a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
We heard him yesterday in the press conference saying that he still feels that the team need to improve in knowing how to manage situations like the one we had the other day at Cornellà del Prat, with being up so early in the game and not being able to control the ball, not being able to dominate possession, to kill the game off by taking their opportunities. But he says, we're a young group of players, we're doing the best we can, and I think that's very encouraging for the fans as well. I think the fans who are going to go to Camp Nou today are really looking forward to seeing the likes of Pedri, to seeing the likes of Nico, Xavi if he comes on in the second half.
Yeah.
This is very exciting as a Barca fan to be seeing the growth of these young players. Pedri also talked, of course, yesterday about how he's been asked to get into the box more, to take more opportunities, to try and score more, and we've seen it happen so far. 2 goals in 4 games.
2 goals, and Pau scoring the quickest goal in the history of the Barcelona derby as well.
Yeah, it was very, very impressive the first 2 minutes that Barca played in that derby. The way we were dominating, how we we were very close to the opponent's box, generating that feeling of danger. And Pedri was obviously a determinant on that. He was a key player to arrive into the box, to finish that action. And you were mentioning now that how difficult it is to keep dominating the games, not only for 20, 40 minutes. Maybe against Atletico we dominated for 55 minutes until El Cholo made a few substitutions. But definitely it's one of the main challenges that we can ask to these young boys, that for sure they are doing their best and they will achieve it soon.
How do you think he would have been living that or experiencing that time that he was out and watching the likes of Xavi and Nico really flourish and come to life? Would he be itching to play with these players?
I'm sure he was itching to play and to get out there on the field, because a player never wants to be out because of injury. But having a little bit more competition is going to be healthy for Pedri as well, knowing that his place isn't guaranteed. I mean, we've seen him play a lot, but he knows he's got Nico pressing from behind. Xavi today is the one who starts from the bench, and I'm sure we're going to see Pedri start from the bench in one of these games. I think the fact that he's got more competition in those positions is very good for the team and for him as well.
Yeah, what it surprised me the most is to see this great version of Pedri just after being a bit more of 3 months out injured. Normally when a player comes back after an injury, well, you need time. And I think in this case, the club and the player have been really intelligent to take a lot of time in the process of the recovery, to get back in form. And this rest, it seems that has been really useful for himself, because it's true that before the injury, after the Euro, the Olympics, he seemed to be really tired and not at his best level. And now after these months out, well, he seems to be fresh and ready to face this final part of the season.
And not today, but next week, Pedri might have a chance to play another 120-minute game, which is a specialty.
That is right. He's the overtime specialist for sure. Let's hope that he will not play that many extra minutes, because already last season he played more than enough, and as we saw, it took a toll on him as well. As I mentioned before, European nights are special at the Camp Nou, so why don't we connect with Maestro once again and see what the atmosphere is like in the build-up of this game.
Well, Diego, we're here outside of Camp Nou with more fans this time. I'm here joined by, what's your name?
Momo.
Momo?
Yes.
Okay. Where are you from?
We are from Germany, Frankfurt.
And the little boy?
He's also my son from Germany, Frankfurt.
You want to show his shirt?
Yes, his name, Noah.
Noah. Okay, is this your first time at Camp Nou?
Our second time now.
And it's the first time you're watching a European night here?
Yes, the first night.
Are you ready for this clash against Napoli?
Yes, I'm very ready. It will be a difficult game today. Napoli is very good right now, but I think Barcelona will win.
And what do you think about the players we have right now? And not just in the starting lineup, in the bench, but like all the young talented players.
We have a new generation now in the team, the new future like Xavi or Araujo and all young players, and I think they will do a good job, you know. Everybody is talking about the old players who's gone now, like Messi or Suarez and all the other guys, but this generation is a new generation and they are hungry, you know. They want to take the new experience, and they will do it today, I think, you know. It's a good team.
And if I ask you for a prediction for tonight, what do you think will be the result?
2-0 Barcelona.
2-0.
Yes.
Amazing. And well, we hope you have a good time here in Barcelona with Noah.
Yes.
Bye, Noah. I hope you support the team.
Of course. He is happy, I think. Yes.
Thank you so much and enjoy the game.
Thank you.
Back to you, Diego.
Thank you so much for that. Mine, I'll sign on for a 2-0. 2-0 win.
Yeah.
I'll definitely, that sounds about right.
And we gauge from that connection from Mai that the fans are excited about seeing this young generation of players, what we were talking about just a minute ago.
Exactly, this young generation, Robert, and also new generation, of course. 3 of the 4 new signings are already starting in today's match. We got Aubameyang, Adama, and Ferran Torres all starting in the front line. 3 of the 4 new signings, we include Dani Alves in that, of course, although he arrived before December, etc. Technicality, but 4 new signings this season that are really supposed to catapult this team into, greater and better things.
Yeah, and they are all playing very close to each other. They're up front, so we will see how good they coordinate between themselves. We have never seen Aubameyang starting yet, so let's see how he manages a longer game. But definitely we will see new things in this Barca, but hopefully we can remain doing what we want to do.
This guy here on our screens right now has been so impressive in his first performances on the wing there. Lots of people were expecting the strength, the pace, but I don't think everyone was necessarily thinking about Adama as a player who is timely in his moves, who makes the right decisions. Everyone was thinking more about the power, but we've seen a little bit of everything, and he's contributed so much already, providing 2 assists. And Aubameyang, I think he's been brought on in 2 complicated situations. One with a 10-man team against Atlético de Madrid, in which he had to basically help defend. And then in the game against Espanyol, which I believe when he came on was 1-1, and then immediately Espanyol scored the 2-1 goal. So 2 very complicated situations for him. It'd be nice to see him with a fresh start, a 0-0, and see if Barca can get out to a dominating start and he can contribute.
Yes, and Ferran Torres, that of course he has all the confidence from manager Xavi Hernandez. Also, he's a really good friend from Pedri, that yesterday also support him in the press conference when they asked him about Ferran and his adaptation. And for sure he has to be an important man. About Aubameyang, of course, his numbers are amazing. In the Europa League, he has scored 22 goals in 43 games played in this competition. This means a goal every 2 games. So let's see, of course, if the African player, that actually is the player from Africa, the top scorer from Africa in this competition, can show today his talent. And of course, it's going to be a fantastic chance for him, as you've mentioned, Robert, starting and not entering in kind of 2 games that were in a complicated situation.
Yeah, the top goal scorer and having scored 8 goals with 2 different teams, 8 with Dortmund and 8 with Arsenal as well. Well, as we are nearing a kickoff time, the fans keep flocking into the Camp Nou, so why don't we connect again with Mai Rostro to see who she got to talk to next. Mai.
Yes, Diego, we're here outside again with more fans. We have, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Camilo.
Camilo, where are you from?
I'm from Colombia.
Colombia, okay. Is this your first time here at Camp Nou?
No, at the Camp Nou, no.
Have you watched a lot of games here?
I have watched already 2. This is going to be my 3rd game.
And what do you think about tonight's clash?
Well, it's going to be a really hard night. Napoli is a strong team, but for sure we're going to win. We are already going up with Xavi, so for sure it's going to be a great night. We're going to win for sure.
And now that you're talking about Xavi, as a coach, what it represents for him to have players like Pedri, Gavi, Nico, all full of talent on the starting lineup or even available for him?
Well, for me, Xavi was kind of the continuity of Pep Guardiola. So right now we have Gavi, we have Pedri. These guys for sure are going to be the next generation after Iniesta, Busquets, Xavi. So it's going to be an amazing match tonight. These guys, hopefully they will stay for a long, long time on Barcelona. Well, we have to enjoy them.
And if I ask you a prediction, what can you say for tonight's result?
I will say 2-0, Barcelona winning, of course.
Well, thank you so much and enjoy the game.
All right, thank you so much. See you guys.
Back to you, Diego.
Thank you so much for that, Mai. It's great to see, of course, fans flocking in from all over the world, really. Colombia, Germany as well. And
consensus in the predictions as well. Another 2-0.
Another 2-0. We're going to get to guess the score later, but I've got a good feeling so far.
Yeah, and I mean, I might be voting for that 2-0. If all the fans are so convinced that that's going to be the result, we'll take it. We'll take it. A clean sheet will be important, even though not as important as in other seasons because of the away goal rule that's been taken away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 2-0 years ago was, of course, a fantastic result. Nowadays, I mean, it's a good result, but not as good as in last campaign, for example.
2-0 is the same as 3-1 now.
Yes.
Before you would have preferred a 2-0.
I don't like.
Now a 3-1.
I don't like this new rule, but this is another debate.
We will see. Any win will do. A win will do. Gentlemen, this is of course not the first time that Barca played this competition. They played it during the 95-96 season, as well as 2003 and 2004.
And 2001 as well. In 95-96, we got knocked out by Bayern Munich in the semi-finals. Xavi was saying yesterday, I mean,
correcting that journalism.
Trying to motivate people into feeling that this competition is important, saying we've never won this. We've been knocked out. He played it twice in 2000, 2001. This was the first time, 0-0 at the Camp Nou in the first leg of the semi-finals against Liverpool. An opportunity there for our now head coach Xavi Hernandez. And back at Anfield, a penalty gave Liverpool the pass to the final, where they faced Alaves in one of the most epic finals ever.
Yes.
And in 2003-2004, we played the round of 16 at Celtic Park. We got beaten there. That was the year of Ronaldinho, the first year of the first Laporta presidency. In the return game at Camp Nou, Barca weren't able to score an opportunity there for Xavi as well. There were great chances. We'll see one just now. Just a beautiful assist by Xavi to Luis Garcia. But Barca weren't able to make it past that round of 16. So a competition that we've never won and in which we faced big teams. And we're facing, of course, a big team as well today.
No, we're facing tonight as well. I mean, do you think that will be fuel for motivation for this team to really try to go for this trophy?
Definitely. Not only because of the opponent, which also, but especially because of the message of Xavi, right? He was saying we want to be in Champions League next year. There are 2 paths to achieve so, which is being between the first 4 or winning this competition. For sure, his message was we have to win this competition. It's a challenge for us. It's a way of staying motivated.
Yeah.
And at the end, if we have never achieved that, let's go for it.
And Bruno, on the topic of motivation or added motivation, of course, winning this trophy will automatically qualify us for the Champions League next season.
Absolutely. I mean, of course, the objective is to stay in the top 4 of La Liga, so you will make sure your Champions League spot the next campaign. But
and we got some help from Levante yesterday.
Yes, true. Levante, a big surprise, winning at the Wanda Metropolitano 1-0. But of course, winning the Europa League is another way to qualify for the Champions League. Xavi repeated lots of times yesterday in the press conference room, so I'm sure that this is another important aspect. And of course, the possibility to win a trophy. This can change you a whole season, a difficult season in the economic aspect, in signings, in lots of things, in social also aspects of the club. If you win this trophy, actually, it's going to be a team remembered, all these youngsters winning the Europa League, so it can change you the season.
Just to piggyback on that, if you'd have put a poll out at the beginning of the season, do you want Barca to win the Europa League? Low percentages would have said yes, because it would mean, of course, that we've been knocked out of the Champions League. But now this is our situation. Now this is our reality. just go for it.
Yeah.
A chance to win a title?
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
And Robert, we talked about yesterday as well during the countdown how that drawing the parallels between the 2003, 2004 team and this one, filled with youngsters. Of course, it was the first year as well of Joan Laporta as president. We had Ronaldinho as a star player. We don't have that star player within the team this time around. But in Frank Rijkaard and Xavi Hernandez, perhaps there are those parallels as well that we can make.
Definitely, definitely. It was the beginning of a new era. Barca were coming off of some rocky seasons with no titles. Similar in that sense, obviously coming from last season now. I wouldn't want to draw a parallel in what the team did in the UEFA Cup back then and what they're doing now, because that would mean we'd be knocked out early. Let's try and make a longer run than they did. But yeah, things went well after that, so we'll take the comparison.
One extra point I want to mention, this Europa League, the nowadays 2022 Europa League, is, I think, much more competitive, like the one at the beginning of the 21st century. That's, I think, my personal view, but you just have to see the teams, the players, and the level of this competition. And
the past winners as well.
Exactly. Have a look on the past winners, and you will see, I think, the prestige of this competition that I think that now it's, in another dimension than 10, 15 years ago.
Well, we are about 10 minutes away from the ball to get rolling and the Camp Nou. So why don't we go one last time over to the Camp Nou to connect with Mai Rostro. Mai.
Well, guys, as you can see, we're here outside getting ready for the game. It's just about minutes. We have to go in, we have to take our position and get ready for the 90 minutes. Tonight is a big night, it's a European night. We're going to play it against Napoli. So everything is ready here. We have to go to take our position. I will talk to you after the game. During the time, I hope you guys enjoy the game. And after that, we can celebrate a victory together. So bye-bye, guys. See you after the game.
Well, thank you very much for that, Mai. We're going to expect an electrifying game indeed, as we tend to do on these European nights. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, it's just been a year and a half ago that we last faced this team at the Camp Nou, a game that finished at 3-1. We will see if this team will be able to repeat that success. But it is Barça, it is Napoli in the knockout phase of this Europa League round playoff. Well, here we have some of the highlights of that last time that we faced them in that was the Champions League round of 16s, Robert. It was a year and a half ago. This time it is the knockout round playoff. I need to say that a couple of times just so I can get used to saying that.
Playoff round. And it was a game, of course, of the second leg. We'd drawn 1-1 in Napoli, and Barca got off to a great start, scoring 3 goals in the first half. The first scored by Clément Lenglet. It's just, I was saying it yesterday, so weird to see the empty Camp Nou in a Champions League game.
Yeah, luckily we don't need to see that anymore.
Exactly. No, it looks like it's going to, maybe not a full house, but there's going to be a nice attendance at the Camp Nou. Of course,
we're not going to see this, Robert.
The time at which we're playing today doesn't favour fans being able to get there early, because, people are still working at this time. But yeah, a fantastic goal by Lionel Messi scored in that game, and then he forced a penalty. He got kicked in the back.
Clever.
Great anticipation by Messi, and Luis Suarez was the one who put it in the back of the net. Lots of changes in the Barca lineup compared to that game, which was just one a year and a half ago. 6 changes to the lineup, you're saying, Bruno?
Yes, 6 players that are not anymore now playing for Barca, so yes, practically half squad different, and well, of course...
all the goals scored in the first half as well.
Yes, with 2 penalties, and yeah, fortunately it was a kind of a game that Barca were dominating and not suffered a lot before getting the ticket to Lisbon and then playing the quarterfinals.
Well, Bruno, why don't we have a listen to Fabian Ruiz, the Spanish player on the Napoli team, and hear what he had to say ahead of this game.
Bueno, creo que empezaron este año con un poco de dificultades, pero vemos que ya están bien, ¿no? Que vienen en una dinámica muy buena. Tiene jugadores muy jóvenes con muchas ganas. A ciencia visto, también se han reforzado este mercado de invierno con 4 buenos jugadores, aunque uno no podrá estar. Al final creo que somos un equipo en el que le gusta tener la pelota, que le gusta dominar los partidos. Sabemos que al Barcelona también, ¿no? Entonces será una guerra importante, ¿no? Creo que el que intente dominar más tiempo con la pelota será fundamental y bueno, intentaremos de tenerle la pelota, de robársela pronto porque sabemos que ellos son fuertes, ¿no? Con la pelota, entonces bueno, intentaremos tenerla el mayor tiempo posible nosotros.
The words there from Fabian Ruiz, Pau, as well, talking about how they're planning to dispute possession against Barça. Easier said than done, especially at the Camp Nou, such a massive pitch. Are you expecting a battle here for possession?
Definitely. I mean, he was very, very clear. They really want to have the ball. They want to take it away from us. They don't want us to keep it for long periods of time. And for sure, that's going to be the intentions that Spalletti has shared with the players. And hopefully they cannot get it, but because, like you said, Camp Nou invites you to have the ball.
Well, slowly but surely, Robert, the players are in the tunnel and ready to take the pitch as well. Any thoughts ahead of this game?
It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one, as Fabian was saying. They're going to want to have the ball. I don't expect them to play like Atletico de Madrid did, for example, a couple of weeks ago at the Camp Nou, in which Simeone's side tended to sit back a little more. I expect a bit more high pressure from Napoli, a very competitive side. And as Fabian was saying, I mean, it could be a 50-50 game in terms of possession. What I do want is goals.
Yes.
So, shall we guess the score?
Let's guess the score. Yes. So you want to kick it off?
Well, let's have the guess.
All right. Okay. You're right. Where are my manners? Yeah. Please.
I won't say 2-0. I'm going to go for 1-0 for Barca. I know you want goals, Robert, but
you want a tight return game.
I will say 3-1 up for Barca, like it happened in 2020. Same result. And now conceding a goal is not a problem at all with this new rule about the away goals.
Well, I mean, that's great, isn't it?
So,
I think Barca can keep a clean sheet today, and I'm going to go with the fan vote. I'm going to go with 2-0. It's what the fans said to me, so we'll stick to that.
2-0, okay. I'm gonna go for 3-1. I think we're gonna repeat the same scoreline that we did last time that we faced them. 3-1, one away goal. But again, like we talked about, it won't matter. So 3-1 it is. Now you at home can also participate in Guess the Score. You can do that via the app or from the website as well. You can partake in guessing the score, the game quiz, and rating the game. You can get some exclusive prizes and even win a trip over here to Barcelona to see El Clásico next season.
Yes, amazing prizes. So don't forget to take part, fcbarcelona.com or the Barca app. I've just voted on the Barca app, where the most voted result is a 2-1.
2-1, okay.
Predicting a very tight game at the Camp Nou, 33% of them with the 2-1. And the second most voted result is the one that Bruno predicted. 24% of the fans going with a 3-1. Shall we take a look at the lineups before the game starts?
Let's do that.
Right. Let's take a look at the starting 11s for both teams as they're about to jump onto the field. Barca will be starting with Marc-Andre ter Stegen in goal, Oscar Mingueza, Eddie Garcia, Piqué and Jordi Alba at the back. A midfield of 3 with Nico, Pedri and Frenkie de Jong. And 3 of our new signings in the winter transfer window in our attacking formation with Adama on the right, Ferran Torres on the left and Aubameyang in the middle. Napoli's lineup for today, a 4-2-3-1 formation picked by Luciano Spalletti. Meret in goal, Di Lorenzo, Brahmani, Koulibaly and Jesus at the back. The double pivot with Anguissa and Fabian Ruiz. On the right, it's Elmas. On the left, Insigne. The attacking midfielder will be Zielinski and Osimhen up front. Diego,
Godspeed,
your job's
gentlemen.
done here?
Yes. We'll see you.
See you in post-game. Hopefully to celebrate a win.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. I think it's due.
Right. Let's get started then. Let's get started. Both teams are on the field. Final thoughts, Pau, before the game starts.
Well, you were talking about high pressure. I would like to see how Barca deals with this situation. The last time we had a game like that, it was against Athletic, and it was a very tough game. So if they press high, which they probably will, let's see if the Barca players feel comfortable and they don't feel the fear of losing the possession very close to the goal.
It's Barca-Napoli. It's a fantastic game after 2 months and a half that the Champions League ended. European football is back, and I'm really excited to enjoy this game with you guys. And let's see, of course, if Barca can have a good game, they can continue with their good feelings. And well, there was a fantastic